I'm Fabian Petrina, WEFF Pro and Team Muscle Tech athlete, and this is why I lift.
What up, man?
How are you?
Best friend.
Good.
Best friend. Because we're taking over. Because we're taking over not just the fitness industry, we're taking over Vegas, we're taking over the world. All right, we out. Appreciate you.
Hallo?
Hi, guten Morgen.
Hey, Morgen, wie geht's dir, mein Schatz?
Gut, und dir?
Gut.
Ich film gerade mit Muscle Tech.
Oh, okay, Entschuldigung, ich wollte nicht stören.
Nein, du störst nie. Okay, wie geht, was ist denn?
Nichts? Wollte dir einfach sagen, dass ich dich lieb habe.
Okay, ich hab dich auch lieb. Okay, ich ruf dich später an, heute Abend. Okay,
Bye.
ciao. I grew up in Heidelberg, Germany, but I moved to Hawaii when I was 14. Germany is full of beautiful memories. My mom, she was a single mom, but I just had an amazing childhood. Like every time I think back on Germany, I just smile. The Christmas markets, the playgrounds, all the friends I had, it was awesome. We'd do all kinds of crazy stuff, like we'd take our bicycles into the strawberry fields and we'd ride them through the fields until the farmers would come and chase us in their tractors. We'd jump over the fence to these little like sheep houses, I guess, and we'd like spank their butts and then they'd chase us, and the last person over the fence would be the one getting attacked by the sheep. So we just do crazy things like that. My mother, she grew up pretty rough. I don't know much about her past. I know that her mom committed suicide when she was very young and her father was very abusive, so she ended up kind of bouncing around between families. But I mean, from every memory I have of her is amazing. Whatever she could, she would do for me to make sure I have the most beautiful and memorable childhood she could create for anyone. My mom and I moved to Hawaii because she fell in love with an American soldier who was stationed in Germany at the time. She ended up getting pregnant with my little brother, and they got married. And the question became, okay, do we leave Germany? Do we leave everything we know and move with this man, or do we stay here and play it safe? But she did not want my little brother to grow up without a father because she had seen that in me. So we decided to all pack up and move to Hawaii. I was really excited to move to Hawaii because, first of all, it's America, and even back then I had the dream to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, bodybuilding. After we got there, it was a very, very big culture shock. I did not speak much English. I really stood out because in Hawaii, everyone is tan, a surfer, and there I am, this super pale kid from Germany with a hardcore accent that no one understood. And so I just became that target for everyone. So I'd go to school and I'd have apples thrown at me. I'd have like 30 kids just calling me names, and it just became very, very difficult. And then, you know, one time I did decide, I was like, you know what, I'm tired of being picked on. So I was like, all right, let's fight after school. So we met up, we fought. It was a bunch of guys that showed up. They pulled my shirt over my head, kneed me in the eye, I broke my eye socket. I went home, I was embarrassed. I went to my mom's makeup closet and I like covered it up because I didn't want her to see. But then she saw that my eye was bloodshot and she made me wash my face, and she saw the eye and she took me to the emergency room. And yeah, I mean, it's better now, but it sucked at the time. Things kind of cooled down. Then I had, you know, one of my surgeries, and I went to school after, you know, being off for 2 months, being on the couch trying to heal. And I went back to school, and my first day after being back in school, I got home and I had a voicemail on my cell phone that said, "We're gonna kill you tomorrow." And I was on crutches, so I wouldn't even be able to defend myself. So that night, I didn't know what to do. I was in a lot of pain, and I had a ton of painkillers from that surgery. So I took like 20 oxycodone and a ton of Tylenol. I just smooshed it up and drank it. So that was my way out. But it didn't work, obviously, you know, so right after I did it, I tried to fall asleep, but I got scared, so I called my mom. She ran in the room. She immediately knew I had done something bad, because she could tell by my voice, because we're just that close. And that's kind of what began the healing process for me, because it was kind of like I hit the wall, and I told my mom everything that happened. I opened up, because my goal was always, I'm never gonna be a snitch. I'm never gonna tell anyone what happened to me, because that's not what a man does. But I finally opened up, and you know, I talked to doctors and things like that, and they told me it's okay to be you. And that's when I learned that I'm Fabian, and that's awesome. I've always been passionate about bodybuilding, but that's when I realized that I wanted to use it not only to have fun in the gym, but I wanted to build up an armor. I wanted to be a big bad motherfucker, you know, so no one could hurt me again. So every morning, first things first, I'll pop out of bed. I think this is the most important thing to do, is I take a multivitamin, just to start my day. I also start my day with clear muscle and L-carnitine to kind of fall out of that catabolic state that I am in when I wake up. So hop on the treadmill, 20-25 minutes of cardio, even in the off season, because to me, cardio is not only to shred out, it's just a way for me to get focused, kind of rewind whatever happened yesterday and what I need to do today. A way for me to just get the blood going, and I've noticed that I'm less sore after incorporating cardio daily. My morning breakfast routine usually consists of 10 egg whites and oatmeal. The amount of oatmeal varies depending on how I look. My second meal consists of chicken breast, and again, the amount varies depending on how I look. Pre-workout, I'll usually do some Nitrotech whey with a banana, and I'll blend it up with some ice, and it kind of turns into this ice cream tasting smoothie, which is awesome. It's my happiness of the day. Post-workout meal, again, chicken, rice, and veggies. The meal after that, again, chicken and oats. And the final meal is usually a good steak with a lot of veggies and some oatmeal. There is definitely a difference between eating for competitions and off-season. The foods itself don't change for me because I like to always look in shape. I never really go crazy into the off season, but the amount of food changes. So the amount of oatmeal is obviously higher in the off season so that I have more carbs to get more energy in the gym and get heavier lifts in. The fats go a little lower the closer I get to a competition. It really just varies day by day depending on how I look. But there's no crazy difference between off-season and contest diet. I just kind of keep it year-round. I've come to finding the right way to eat after years and years of trial and error. I don't work with a coach because I don't like people telling me what to do. So obviously it started with me reading bodybuilding magazines and kind of understanding what a bodybuilding diet should look like. And then from there, I just kept incorporating those tools I've learned from YouTube videos, from bodybuilding magazines, and what other friends have told me. And I've just kind of learned to see what does what for my body. So it might not work for anyone else out there, but I know it works for me. And that just takes years and years, but that's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding takes years and years. So to me, living in Vegas is the perfect environment for bodybuilding. Not only is it's an extremely low cost of living, but the fitness community is huge here. I mean, there's so many top bodybuilders living. The Olympia is here, the WBFF World's Championships is gonna be here this year as well. So yeah, Vegas is definitely, in my opinion, it's the new Venice. My favorite part of Vegas is the heat. I love the desert heat. I don't really like Vegas that much in the winter, but in the summer when it's nice and hot, I love it. It gives me a lot of energy. It's just, I love it. My bodybuilding journey started with my friends and I. We take our little 2-kilogram dumbbells, we take them to school in our rucksack, in our school bag, and during breaks we would do curl-off competitions. Who can curl the most amount of weight? And I would always win. Like, there was not a single time I lost, because I would just keep going with that 2 kilograms, 100 reps. So that's when bodybuilding started for me. And then I moved to America, and I didn't have much to do, so my mom decided, hey, let's sign him up for a gym so he can continue to develop that. And then I would just start following around these bodybuilders. And at first I thought it was kind of silly that they're posing in like these little skimpy bikinis. And I was like, why is this guy doing this? But then I learned to appreciate the beauty behind it all. And that's when I started looking into bodybuilding, reading about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Dorian Yates and athletes like that. And what fascinated me is how they were able to turn something that was given to them, a normal body, into something so super natural. And I wanted to create that for myself. You kind of push past what's humanly possible in every sense, mentally, physically, to create this statue. And I wanted to do that with my body. But then that changed, as I got more and more into the sport, it really went away from that, because I started getting more and more confident in myself. I started seeing the way that girls looked at me as my deltoids started growing. I started the way that guys looked at me, and now I don't bodybuild for that anymore. It did heal me, but now it's become a passion, and I don't need to be the biggest guy in the room. I do it because I love bodybuilding itself. What I love about training at the gym is that it's you versus you. First of all, if you win a competition, no one did that for you. You did that. If you lose a competition, you can't say my teammate passed me the ball incorrectly. No, it's you were lazy. You messed up on your diet. You weren't good enough. And that's why I love the gym. You're in there alone and you're doing it for yourself. No one else. I would never stop working out. No matter what life throws my way, bodybuilding will always be a part of it. I might lose a leg one day, but I would find a way around that. It might not always be to compete, but I will always be in the gym and push myself. And I'm not doing it for anyone. I'm not doing it for Instagram or even you guys. I'm doing it for me because I love doing it. My proudest moment to date is, I went to university, I graduated 3.98, I got a good job, I've accomplished, in my opinion, I've really pushed myself to accomplish a lot, but all that really doesn't matter to me. The proudest moment that I've had is being able to talk to my mother and see that she's proud of where I've come. The first time that she opened up to me, that's when I knew I had done something right, because making my mom proud, that's very difficult to do, and making her proud is, yeah, ever since then that was amazing. I think that finding your passion is what's gonna help you overcome whatever obstacles are in front of you. And this is whether you're young or old. I believe that finding that thing that you were put on this earth for, that thing that just takes you away from reality for a minute or two. It can be bodybuilding, it can be playing the violin, it can be anything. That one thing that just makes you, you. I think finding that and developing that further and further is what's gonna in turn build your self-confidence. And the more confident you are, the more likely it'll be that anything that comes in front of you will just be shattered. Like, nothing can stand in your way.